Good morning. Myself Mohit Jain, Assistant Professor, Index Institute of Pharmacy, Malvanchal University, Indore. Here I am presenting my topics micrometrics. So we cover in these contents particle size and size distribution, method for determining of particle size, density and flow properties of powders. So, what is micrometrics? The basic definition, it is the science and technology of small particles. The unit of particle size used in the micrometer, micron, and equal to 10 to the power minus 6 m. As particle size decrease, the area is also increased. So in this figure you can see the total surface area in cubic 6 centimeter square. Total surface area in between them is 12 centimeter square and total surface area 24 centimeter square. So the micrometrics is the science and technology of small particles. Knowledge and control of size and the size range of particles are of significant importance in pharmacy because the size and the surface area of a particle related to the physical, chemical and pharmacological properties of a drug. The particle size of a drug can affect its release from dosage form that are administered orally, parenterally, rectally and topically. So micrometrics in the area of tablet and capsule manufacture, control of particle size is essential in achieving the necessary flow properties and proper mixing of granules and powders. Particle size and size distribution. In a collection of particles of more than one size, two properties are important, namely the shape and surface are of individual particles, the particle size and size distribution, the size range and number of weight of particles. Particle size. The size of a sphere is readily expressed in terms of its diameter. The surface diameter, that is ds, is the diameter of a sphere having the same surface area as the particles. The volume diameter dV is the diameter of a sphere having the same volume as the particles. The projected diameter dP is the projected diameter of a sphere having the same observed area as the particles. The Stokes diameter, that is dST, is the diameter which describes an equivalent sphere undergoing sedimentations at the same rate as the asymmetric particle. Any collection of particles is usually polydispersed. It is therefore necessary to know not only the size of a certain particles but also how many particles of the same size exist in the sample. Thus, we need an estimate of size range present at the number or weight fraction of each particle size. This is the particle size distribution, and from it we can calculate an average particle size for the sample. When the number or weight of particles lying within a certain size range is plotted against the size range or mean particle size, so called frequency distribution curve is obtained. This is important because it is possible to have two samples with the same average diameter but different distribution. So what are the applications? Release and dissolutions, absorptions and drug actions, physical stability, dose uniformity. In release and dissolution, particle size and surface area influences the release of a drug from a dosage form. Higher surface area allows intimate contact of the drug with the dissolution fluids in vivo and increase the drug solubility and dissolution. Absorption and drug actions. Particle size and surface area influence the drug absorption and subsequently the therapeutic action. Higher the dissolution, faster the absorption, and hence quicker and greater the drug action. Physical stability. The particle size in a formulation influence the physical stability of the suspension and the emulsion. Smaller the size of particles, better the physical stability of the dosage form. Dose uniformity. Good flow properties of granules and powders are important in manufacturing of tablets and capsules. So, what are the methods for determining the particle size? Many methods available for determining particle size, such as optical microscopy, sieving, sedimentation, and particle volume measurement. So, in particle optical microscopy, range is 0.2 to 100 micrometer. In sieving, range is 40 to 9500 micrometer. Sedimentations range is 0.08 to 300 micrometer. Particle volume measurement range is 0.5 to 300 micrometer. So, a guide range of particle size applicable to each method is particle size, and another one is method. For 1 micrometer, electron microscope, ultracentrifuge options. For 1 to 100 micrometer, optical microscope, sedimentations, Coulter counter, air permeability. Greater than 50 micrometer, sieving. You can see there is the optical microscopy range 0.2 to 100 micrometers. The microscope eyepiece is fitted with a micrometer by which the size of particles may be estimated, as you can see in the screen. So optical microscopy, and what is the range of optical microscopy is 0.2 to 100 micrometer. According to the optical microscopic method, an emulsion or suspension is mounted on ruled slide on a mechanical stage. Microscope eyepiece is fitted with a micrometer by which the size of particles can be estimated. The ordinary microscope used for the measurement the particle size in the range of 0.2 to 100 micrometer. But what are the disadvantage of microscopic method? First one is the diameter is obtained from only two dimensions of the particles. The number of particles that must be counted 300 to 500 to obtain a good estimation of the distributions makes the method somewhat slow and tedious. Sieving range is 40 to 9500 micrometers. Standard size sieves are available to cover a wide range of size. These sieves are designed to sit in a stack so that the material falls through the smaller and smaller meshes until it reaches a mesh which is too fine for it to pass through. The stack of sieve is mechanically shaken to promote the passage of the solids. The fraction of material between pair of sieve sizes is determined by weighing the residue on each sieve. The results achieved will depend on the duration of agitations and the manner of agitation. Sedimentations range is 0.02 to 300 micrometer. By measuring the terminal settling velocity of particles through a liquid medium in a gravitational centrifugal environment using Anderson apparatus. Particles volume measurement range 0.5 to 300 micrometers. In this type of machines, the powder is suspended in a electrolyte solutions. This suspension is then made to flow through a short insulated capillary section between two electrodes, and the resistance of the system is measured. When a particle passes through the capillary, there is a momentary peak in the resistance. The amplitude of the peak is proportional to the particle size. Counting is done by a computer. In figure, you can see particle volume measurements. Density of powders. Density is defined as weight unit volume. During tapping, particles gradually pack more efficiently, and the powder volume decrease and tap density increase. Here is the intraparticular pores and interparticular pores. Types of density. First one is true density. The true density or absolute density of a sample excludes the volume of the pores and voids within the powder sample. Second one is bulk density. Bulk density value includes volume of all of the pores within the powder sample. Flow properties of powder. Powder may be free flowing or cohesive, that is sticky. Many common manufacturing problems are attributes to powder flow. First, powder transfer through large equipment such as hopper. Second, uneven powder flow. Excess entrapped air within the powders, capping or laminations. Third, uneven powder flow, increased particle frictions with die wall, causing lubrication problems and increased dust contamination risk during the powder transfer. Flow properties of powders. Here you can see in compression machine, that is hopper, granules comes in the feeder die. After that, compression and ejections, collection and filling. Powder is flow from the hoppers to the die. Flow properties of powder. Fifth one is powder storage, which for example result in caking tendencies within a vial or bag after shipping or storage time. Separation of a small quantity of powder from bulk, specifically just before the creation of individual doses, such as during tableting, encapsulation and vial filling, which affect the weight uniformity of the dose under or overdoses. Here you can see flow property of powder. Test to evaluate flow properties of a powders. First one is Carr's compressibility index. Second one is Hochner's ratio. Third one is angle of repose theta. Carr's compressibility index. A volume of powder is filled into a graduated glass cylinder and repeatedly tapped for a known duration. The volume of powder after tapping is measured. Carr's index percentage equal to tap density minus poured or bulk density divided by tap density into 100. So bulk density is equal to weight upon bulk volumes. What are the index of Carr's compressibilities? The relationship between powder flowability and percent compressibility. In table you can see flow descriptions and percentage compressibility. Excellent flow 5 to 15, good 16 to 18, fair 19 to 21, poor 22 to 35, very poor 36 to 40, extremely poor is greater than 40. Hochner's ratio. This is the formula of Hochner's ratio is equal to tap density upon poured or bulk density. Hochner's ratio was related to interparticle frictions. Value less than 1.25 indicate good flow, equal to 20% Hochner's ratio. The powder with low interparticle friction such as coarse spheres, value greater than 1.5 indicates poor flow, equal to 33% Carr's compressibility index. More cohesive, less free flowing powders such as flakes between 1.25 and 1.5 aided glidance normally improves flow. Greater than 1.5 aided glidance doesn't improve flow. The angle of repose, that is theta. As you can see in the figure, the sample is poured onto the horizontal surface and the angle of the resulting pyramid is measured. The user normally select the funnel orifice through which the powder flows slowly and reasonably constantly. The angle repose theta, angle of repose less than 20 is excellent flow. Angle of repose between 20 to 30 is good flow. Angle of repose between 30 to 40 pass flow. Angle of repose greater than 40 is poor flow. The rougher and more irregular the surface of the particles, higher will be the angle of repose. What are the factors that affecting flow properties of powders? The improvement of powder flowability. First one is particle size and distributions. Second one is particle shape and textures. Third one is surface forces. Fourth one is flow activators. Factor affecting the flow properties of powder. First, alteration of particle size and distribution. Second, alteration of particle shape and texture. Alteration of surface forces. Formulation additives and flow activators. Alteration of particle size and distribution. There is certain particle size at which powder's flow ability is optimum. Coarse particles are more preferred than fine ones as they are less cohesive. The size distribution can also be altered to improve flowability by removing a proportion of fine particle fraction or by increasing the proportions of coarse particles such as occurs in granulation. Particle shapes. Generally, more spherical particles have better flow properties than more irregular particles. Spherical particles are obtained by spray drying or by temperature cycling crystallization. Alteration of particle shapes and texture. Particle textures. Particle with very rough surface will be more cohesive and have a greater tendency to interlock than smooth surface particles. So, reduction of electrostatic charges can improve powder flowability. Electrostatic charges can be reduced by altering process conditions to reduce frictional contacts. Moisture contents of particles greatly affect powder's flowability. Adsorbed surface moisture films tend to increase bulk density and reduce porosity. Drying the particles will reduce cohesiveness and improve the flowability. Hygroscopic powders stored and processed under low humidity conditions. Formulation additives, flow activators. Flow activators are commonly referred as glidants. Flow activators improve flowability of powders by reducing adhesion and cohesions. Example are talc, maize, starch and magnesium stearate. Here are the solid state characterizations. There are different types of solid state characterizations: porosity, polymorph, molecular structure, crystallinity, shape, density, size, and surface area. Thank you.